What's going on, everybody? My name is Joey and today I want to talk about Disney remakes. There has been 17 live-action Disney remakes, starting from 1994's Jungle Book to 2022's Pinocchio. Disney really started pumping out the live-action remakes when Maleficent came out in 2014. Today I want to go through every single one and what I believe works, what I believe doesn't, and why I believe Pinocchio is the start of something beautiful. So before we go through this list, I want to talk about my experience with Disney and why I love Disney remakes. When I was growing up, I was subjected to a lot of films that were very serious. Especially in school and university, they only really show you films like, like Citizen Kane and The Godfather. Films that are, grounded in real life. I feel like I watched so much of them as a kid that I'm now in my adult age and all I want to do is have fantasy thrown at my face. Disney is always somewhat of a safe haven for me. Every time I watch a Disney film, I expect to be awe-inspired, I expect to be transported into another world, and I expect to fall in love with fun characters. And I feel like Disney are the only company out there that promise you that every time. So every time Disney announces a new film, a new live action film, a new cartoon, a new animation, a new CG project, I get so excited. But I do feel like there's a lot of problems in these Disney remakes. And today I want to go through why like 95% of them don't personally work for me and what they could do better. So I believe there are 4 genres of live action Disney remakes. The before remakes were cool remakes, barely a remake, the bad guys aren't always bad remakes, and the remakes for a new generation remakes. So I don't want to spend too much time on 3 of these genres because I don't feel like they add too much onto what I really want to talk about. So let's just speed through them. So the barely remakes, Alice in Wonderland and Alice in Wonderland 2. I never really liked Alice in Wonderland anyway. I've never ever been fascinated by it. I've never really liked them. I don't like any of the characters, I don't like the films. Just not for me, so I wouldn't like these different style remakes. So these films, clearly Disney were like, hey, we'll give it to a director, make your own story out of it. Which is great, which I admire quite a bit. I just didn't like Alice in Wonderland at all. But Christopher Robin, I thought was insane. I went to the cinema, not really seeing advertisements, not really seeing anything. I went to the cinema, I sat down and watched it, and it was Winnie the Pooh during World War II, Christopher Robin all grown up, not wanting to believe them anymore, them going into the real world. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Seeing Winnie the Pooh and all his friends in this World War II-esque realistic setting was magic in itself. I would love to see more stuff like that. So this genre is the remakes before they were cool, so everything before Maleficent really. This was their first step into remaking Disney films. So this was of course 1994's Jungle Book, which I don't think I've ever watched, and 102 Dalmatians. Again, I don't remember them at all. But I'm very sure they'll remake 101 Dalmatians just like they've remade the 1994's Jungle Book. I do want to talk about this genre because these do tie into the overall story. This genre is the bad guys aren't always bad genre. And this started with 2014's Maleficent, which I think surprised everyone. The thing is, you can't really remake Sleeping Beauty because the film is kinda shit. If you take it from a story and filmmaker perspective, you can't really directly remake that film. Sleeping Beauty barely had a character. She was just, a girl in the woods. She was like the missing princess, and then she got pricked by a spinning wheel and she was asleep for like half of the film. But they decided to go a different direction and talk about the story of Maleficent. It ended up telling a completely different story. And Maleficent was amazing. Like even in the original, Maleficent is just straight bad, right? She is just a bad guy and that's it. And again, like it's not an interesting tale, it's not an interesting character, but they made it interesting. And Maleficent 2, if you've not seen it, it's even better. Cruella was all about the fashion industry. It was barely about the Dalmatians. Dalmatians came into it, but that was the most least interesting part of the story whatsoever. These are just retellings of the stories of the villains. It's amazing. Like, that is so fun to watch, fun to uncover, fun to see these different sides of these villains. And I would love if they continued that genre. It is great, it's so fun. This genre here is the retelling, the actual live action remakes of the old school Disney films. I am so excited to go in depth here because all of these films are amazing, right? They are just so fun, but you'll see the problems I have with them, and I hope you agree. And I hope that someone from Disney is gonna watch this and be like, okay, you know what? I think I get where he's coming from, and I feel like he's right. So the first two I want to talk about is The Jungle Book and Cinderella. So what I loved about these films is that, you know, they took the magic of Disney and made it live action. So Cinderella, the whole dressing, the magic shoe, the beauty of the fairy. What I loved about The Jungle Book, how can you not love that film? The personality of the animals, the whole wolf pack, the elevation they took both of the films, you know, the added scenes, the added characters, the added characterization. Particularly in the Jungle Book, the CGI was amazing. I remember everyone raving about it when it came out. The actor for Mowgli was perfect. All of the actors who played the animals in the Jungle Book were amazing. The films in general were great, but I just felt like they were holding back from what they could be. And this is where I want to dive in deep into what they could have done better. So with Cinderella, the talking mice barely spoke. They were just mice. With Jungle Book, the animals started to speak, but they were still just animals. The way I see it is, we're in this insanely magical world of Disney, right? Why are we seeing these realistic animals, and why are we taking away, you know, the main characteristics of the animals? It makes no sense. With the rats, you could hear they were like trying to say, hey, look, they are talking, but they're like, you know, they're rats, they're whispering. But why didn't they just talk? Why didn't they just have cartoonish looks? And that goes with the Jungle Book as well. It was all just pure, realistic CGI. And one thing that really annoyed me with these films, both of them didn't include the songs. Bare necessities. I Want to Be Like You, the monkey song. Like, why didn't you include them? I remember leaving the cinema just thinking, yeah, it was amazing. It was great, and I'm so excited for the rest. But these songs were such a huge part of the Jungle Book, and it feels like they were just scared to use them. I mean, I get it. At that point, they were just making these films. They just wanted to see what people were saying. Maybe they thought musicals were so corny. Maybe they were like, okay, well, we're making these realistic Disney films. Why don't we just make the animals realistic? I get it. I understand. It just could have been so much better. So that's where it all began for me. Recently, a film called Dumbo came out, which is a retelling of the film Dumbo. Hated it. It took everything that, you know, was going well with these remakes and just slapped over some I don't even remember seeing the mouse, like his little companion. I don't even remember was he even in it? And it was more focused on the kids. I don't know even, it feels like a fever dream, that film. It was just such like a dull retelling. It was so boring. I was like what am I watching? Am I watching like a serious adaptation of Dumbo here, or am I watching the Disney remake? I don't understand what this is. What is this? The Beauty and the Beast started a new movement, right? This is where it started getting really exciting for me, but again, still had issues. They started adding music. And this is where it kind of falls down for me as well, because, you know, Emma Watson, she's not a born singer. There's not a lot of oomph. Like, you could really tell that she's not Disney-fied. Like, in the original Beauty and the Beast, she's so much more princessy, so much more high-pitched. There must be more than this provincial life. Whereas, you know, Emma Watson's more like, you know, she's trying to sing a ballad, she's trying to sing a song, she's trying to be serious. There must be more than this provincial life. But, you know, for this, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. But what's exciting is they started doing music. They started adding music to their films. I really liked it, but what I didn't like, again, was the character design. So just like Dumbo, and just like Jungle Book and the rats from Cinderella, they made them realistic. And again, it really dragged down this film for me, because we're watching this amazing Disney reboot with these realistic textured clocks and candles. Why aren't they embracing the Disney tradition of cartoon? And you'll see where I'm getting at in a minute. Like, my moans are leading up to something, I promise. So again, Beauty and the Beast was great. It just got let down by the music production, even though I was so happy with the music. I just wish they got better musicians to do it. And of course, the character design, again, it was the same thing. It was a massive letdown. And then we move on to The Lion King and The Lady and the Tramp. The Lady and the Tramp is you know, its own problem in itself, but it stems from The Lion King for me. It's exactly the same issues. So this is where it, for me, just got frustrating, because I'm so excited for The Lion King. Lion King's obviously one of the most popular Disney films ever made. How can they mess it up? The first trailer came out of The Lion King. I just don't see why this happened. Again, they took every issue they had from the films I've just listed, and they just doubled it. Every lion in this film is going to be the most realistic adaptation of this lion ever made. And we don't want real lions. We want the magic of Disney into these remakes. Why are we watching a documentary on the lions? Why are we watching like actual lions fight? Why are we looking at actual lion emotion? So seeing Simba get sad that Mufasa died feels nothing for us because this lion can't portray emotions because he doesn't have eyebrows. There was an amazing artist that got popularized when The Lion King came out because she made the art style of what I wanted in The Lion King, which made me really sad because she visualized exactly how I wanted it. I was watching all these trailers and all these clips and I was just thinking, why haven't they done what Elliot's done? Why is it so hard? The images was just so perfect and it hurt me in the core because I just knew, you know, they're capable of this, right? And it was just, this art style just meant so much to so many people. These films mean so much to so many people because they are animated, because they're cartoons. We don't want realistic lions in these Lion King films. I mean, I don't want to watch a documentary on lions. Again, they finally included music. It was great. The production was so much better. They had Beyonce in it. They had Childish Gambino, all of these amazing artists. The music production was amazing. I Can't Wait to Be King is one of the most colourful, amazing Disney tracks ever made. And we see Simba jumping on these giraffes with these elephants around, with these hippos spraying water and the colourful Saharan backgrounds. But with this film, they wanted it to be super realistic, so they couldn't go through the legs of these animals because, you know, the camera crane wouldn't do that in real life, and they'd sweep across the water. And it's just like, why am I watching this dull retelling of this amazingly colourful song in the most dullest way possible? I mean, again, they did it with Lady and the Tramp as well, right? They just made realistic dogs. And I just watched it and I was like, yeah, it's great. It's a great, dull, boring retelling of Lady and the Tramp. Then they started going way down. This is probably this is the worst Disney remake ever made. Mulan. To the point where I just don't want to talk about it. Like, you have the perfect Disney film here, and you strip all the music, you strip the side characters, you strip the cartoon element, you strip Mushu, the bit where she cuts her hair with the sword, and you have that really cool techno track. You didn't remake that for absolutely no reason. And the hard cut to the destroyed village is one of the most insane moments ever put on an animated film ever. Got rid of that. Talking about Mulan actually drives me insane. Like, it just stresses, like here's the thing, the story of Mulan has been told 1,000 times already. There is so many films of Mulan, and they're all serious, you know, warrior dramas, which is great, right? Which is fine. But there's so many of them. Why can't we have our Disney-fied Mulan? Why do we have to have another serious retelling of the same story that we've seen 1,000 times that other filmmakers are making, which are great, by the way. I've seen quite a few of them. Why are Disney telling it? They have Mushu, they have the gods in the film, they have the music, they have the amazing side characters. Again, Ellie JR made a post about this, and she did a realistic design of Mushu, and it hurt me to my core. Now, this is where I believe Disney got perfect. And I need them to carry this on because I feel like it's took them so long to get here. If they stray even a little bit away, it's gonna hurt me to my core. Aladdin, I feel, is one of the most perfect Disney remakes they have ever made. Again, the music, the CGI, wasn't it just like everything about that film was hype? To One Jump, to Friend Like Me, to Prince Ali, that rhymed, to Arabian Nights, everything about this film was just pure magic. They take every single aspect of what I wanted in a film, bar the character design on the animals, and they just made this magic, wonderful, perfect adaptation of the old school cartoon Disney film. It was colourful, it was fun, the world was expansive, the music was amazing. It's just so fun to watch. Like I said at the beginning of the film, I need some magic in my Disney film, and this film brung magic. Like, I just wish the monkey just wasn't a real monkey, and I wish Yago, the parrot, he just spoke like a parrot, which is fine. It works, right? It's fine, whatever. It would have been better if he was, you know, the parrot in the film, but whatever. It was just such a great experience, and I just remember leaving the theatre so hyped, and I was just like, that was insane. That was exactly what I wanted. That is exactly how I wanted it. and I just feel like they're going to get better from here. And then a few days ago, the best Disney remake came out on Disney Plus, and I'll tell you why it's the best. The music, stunning. The set pieces, stunning. The characters, Pinocchio himself, he looked like a cartoon envisioned in real life. Jiminy Cricket, he wasn't a real cricket. The wolf guy was a guy that was a wolf. It wasn't just a guy. The fish was a cartoon fish. The cat was a cartoon cat. Like, here's the thing, Jiminy Cricket is everything I wanted encapsulated in a character. He even had like the old school English.
You darn tootin' I do.
You're darn tootin'. Like, this is just so fun to see. Like, this is just such a great experience. Seeing Jiminy Cricket, like a cartoon living Disney character with realistic textures, but in this cartoon live action form, was a dream come true. And I wish they just did that for The Lion King, for Mushu, for The Jungle Book, and I feel like they're just going in the perfect direction for now. And again, they made little story beats that made it perfect. Like in the original Pinocchio, he just made a wooden boy. In the new remake, he lost his family and he missed him, so he made this wooden boy. It makes it so much deeper. The blue fairy is insanely stunning. Like, as beautiful as she is in the cartoon, the Wish Upon a Star song was just music to my ears. That film, it just warmed my heart. It warmed my cold, dead heart. So the point I'm getting at here is Pinocchio did exactly what I feel like Disney should be doing. The ideology of Disney is where dreams come true. And their brand promise is to create happiness through magical experiences. Every single one of their animated films are magical experiences, but I feel like a lot of their magic were lost when they started doing their live action reboots. And I feel like Pinocchio encapsulated the magic back so fast. Like, literally within the first 1 minute of the film, I knew I was going to love this film. So let's just do a recap. It took the live action of what it's promising. It's a live action reboot of this famous film. You know, we have actors, we have people, we have realistic locations, we have realistic storytelling purposes, we have realistic, world issues. We then take the music that was introduced in the first film that was then brought into life with Aladdin and Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, and they encapsulated it perfectly in Pinocchio. They took that beautiful cartoon, big-eyed look, animals wearing costumes, and just implemented it into Pinocchio with our realistic texture. And they just made the perfect blend of live action and animation. And I just can't congratulate Disney more for finally stepping into that magical shoe of theirs and saying, you know, this is who we are, and this is our first proper live action. Even the movements, like my favorite character of the whole of Pinocchio was the fox. That look and that feel and that determination of being a cartoon. He was just unapologetically a cartoon in that world, and I loved seeing it. And that's it, guys. As you can see, I'm absolutely in love with Aladdin and Pinocchio. I just really hope they continue this trope, and let me know. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know if you like all the other films and if you don't agree with what I do. I've done my talking now. It's time for me to listen, and I'll be excited to see what you think of what I think. Obviously, D23 is a few days ago, and they just announced a few more live-action Disney films, including The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mufasa the Lion King, Snow White, Hercules, an untitled Aladdin sequel, an untitled Jungle Book sequel, Hunchback of Notre Dame, untitled Cruella sequel, a Tinkerbell film, Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, Bambi, Aristocrats, and Lilo and Stitch. So the Disney remake train is not stopping. I just hope we're not going to see a Little Mermaid with a realistic flounder. I just want them to keep that cartoony, realistic thing they're doing now, and if flounder is just a realistic fish trying to talk, I'm going to lose it because they have the perfect format now, and I'm going to be so mad. I just don't want to see a realistic Stitch as well. I want to see realism and cartoony. If it's a realistic Stitch, no one's going to think it's cute. Just make a cute, cartoony, live-action-y Stitch. It's not hard now. You've done it. You've perfected it. So sorry about my huge rant of Disney remakes. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. They've just got the perfect format now. Pinocchio was just a solid 10 out of 10 film. I love it so much. And I feel like they're going in the perfect direction now for Disney remakes. So I just want to finish off this video saying thank you very much for watching. And if you don't or do agree with anything I'm saying, please put me in the comments. I'd love to see what you think. Of course, let's end off this video with a question. What Disney classic do you want remade? Mine will have to be Atlantis. Atlantis is one of my favorite Disney films ever made. Seeing that city, seeing that aquarium scene in the meeting, seeing that book, seeing the shepherd's journal in live action would be so cool. And Andrew Garfield has to be Milo Thatch. He's perfect, he's literally perfect. And as always guys, please thumbs up the video, subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully I won't be moaning about Disney remakes.